Hello and welcome everyone to the pre-conference podcast for the Scope 3 Emission Reduction Summit that will be held in Amsterdam on the 20th and 21st of April. And today we have the pleasure of introducing to you Mr. Laurent Moyersoen from ClimateCamp. Laurent, pleasure to have you here. Would you mind telling us a bit about yourself and ClimateCamp as well?
Yeah, sure. So indeed, I'm Laurent Moyersoen, one of the co-founders, one of the four co-founders at ClimateCamp, and I am CCO, so Chief Commercial Officer, and so I'm leading the sales and marketing organization within ClimateCamp, and we help the food and beverage industry to become net zero. And ClimateCamp is actually the most collaborative sustainability platform that allows organizations to calculate and to collect their emissions data, share forecast greenhouse gas emissions, and as a result, they can accurately calculate their footprints and take targeted actions to reduce their climate impact. So we're in one sentence a collaborative software solution for emissions reduction.
I see. Thank you for the introduction. As we all know, the emission reduction and particularly Scope 3 lately and quite recently have been really growing in importance for a lot of industries. And this is not just, a one industry thing. It does require a collaborative approach, but would you mind providing us with your take on the challenges that the whole corporate world is facing? Not just, you can't really say one industry. What are the industries now facing in terms of challenges?
Yeah, and one of the most important reasons is to be compliant with the increasingly coming tougher regulations, environmental regulations. Let's say we see European level, on an international level, but also on a more local level. We see emerging new regulations coming up that require all to have Scope 3 as well in scope of the sustainability report for companies. It all starts with listed companies, with big enterprises, but it will quickly get to everyone, where Scope 3 is actually kind of it has this network effect, right? Where it starts with the regulation for big enterprises, but quickly all their suppliers and all their customers have to be compliant with it as well, because they have to provide some emission data as well to those companies to be able, so they can report on it. And by having this network effect, it will organically become very quickly very important for all companies to have Scope 3 mapped out. And then we have other important, we see that many companies start acting on it just because of the image of the company, because of their branding, because it's important within their values of the company. And with more family-owned businesses, we see also sustainability is quite often a hot topic or on one of the top priorities, because they tend to look for more long-term investments. We see it's anyway increasingly important, and due to the network effect, it will quickly get to everyone.
Yes, certainly. I do completely agree. And we've been hearing a lot about the widespreadness of Scope 3 emission reduction and the issue of that and reporting and everything connected to it. And as you mentioned as well, it's not just the big corporations anymore. It's also these small, medium enterprises. And you've also mentioned very small family businesses, which is really quite unprecedented, I would say. So really curious about what you have to, present to us at the event. As I know, your presentation will be about the secret to uncovering the hidden 85% of your emissions, which is quite fascinating. Do you mind, providing a bit of closer info into what the topic's about, and obviously shortly, because we don't want to spoil the fun, but what is the presentation going to be about, and why is it relevant right now?
As I said, it will quickly get to everyone, and every company has sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands of suppliers or business partners, where they have to get a grasp of what their impact on their emissions are. And to be able to do that, you want to do that accurately. You want to know quickly which of your suppliers have everything in order, what's their carbon maturity, their carbon reporting maturity, what are their targets, their goals towards the future, and is it in line with your own targets? So there are many topics and touch points that you want to handle, to map out, and to forecast if your own emission reduction in scope 3 is in line with your targets. And to be able to do that in this complex environment with hundreds or thousands of suppliers, you need technology, you need software platforms to scale that approach, to have a process in place that easily can do this for the next quarters, the next years, where you have to repeatedly report on those same things, instead of taking a one shot of the estimations of your scope 3, which is a big difference. So we really aim for an accurate real data, primary data exchange of emissions in the value chain on a big scale. So that's what we will present. That's what we will demonstrate as well at the event. And we will share use case best practice on how we approach this currently for our customers. And we can share some results of how effectively it is.
Thank you very much, Laurent, for this response. I'm sure it will be a very, not just a great presentation by itself in its own right, but also a valuable addition to the program, because that really gives some insight into not just what's the issue, but how to solve it, you could say. So more practical, applicable approaches. So we are really looking forward to it, and I'm really happy to collaborate with you again. So once more, we have ClimateCamp presented in our program, which is a pleasure. And it's been a great pleasure to have you today.
Thank you for this podcast.